crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
What's going on, family? Let's talk about what happens when you ignore a dismissive avoidant. Family, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Eleanor and this is Dismissible Me, where I speak only about dismissive avoidant attachment from the perspective of someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to check the playlist. Find me on Instagram. All of my information and links are down in the description box. And getting right into today's video, what happens when you ignore a dismissive avoidant? And the first thing that happens for me is I initially feel relieved. So regardless of whether we've had conversations about me needing more space, needing more time, maybe I need you to lean on me a little bit less, or maybe I've been pulling away and I feel like you're reading some of the behavioral signs that I need space, I'm going to feel relieved. I'm going to think that initially you're giving me the space that I'm needing, the space that I'm requiring. And I'm not going to think much of it, to be quite honest with you. Unless something major happened, there was a falling out, a fight, a conflict, I'm not going to think anything of you ignoring me at first, which rolls into the second thing which can happen when you decide to ignore someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style, which is I can be very slow or delayed in reaching out to you because I can assume that you're giving me the space that I'm needing or desiring, requiring. I may not initially think that there's something wrong. So if you're trying to ignore me in an effort to elicit a certain type of response, this may not be the way to go, because for me, I may think that you're giving me space. I may think that my prayers are being answered, and you're giving me space. I can think that you're hearing me, you're seeing me, and this is exactly the space I was talking about that I needed. And then when I'm done taking the space that I need, that's when I'm reaching out. And that space, depending on where I'm at, you know, growth wise and what's going on, can be an extended period of time. What you thought may have elicited a certain response in a couple of hours, you may not get a response from me for days. You may not get a response from me for a week or so, because I think that you're just leaving me alone, or you're just giving me space to figure things out, and then when I'm ready, I'm reaching out, and then I'm reaching out a week later, I'm reaching out 2 weeks later. It definitely wouldn't be longer than that, because that's totally ridiculous. But if I think that you're giving me space, I'm going to take the space, and I'm not going to think anything of it. So there's the initial relief, then there's the delayed reaching out, because I'm not realizing that you're ignoring is ignoring. And sometimes it may have to be something else that triggers, oh shoot, okay, it's more than they're giving me space. There's something going on. Then I can also assume, if you've decided to ignore me, that you've rejected me. And when I say rejection or rejected me, I'm specifically talking about ending the relationship, ending the romantic relationship, ending the friendship situation. I can assume that your lack of response, your lack of, reaction to me sending you something, me calling you, or being very dry when I'm having or trying to converse with you in public. I could just think that that's how you're ending things. And I won't know necessarily that you want to have further conversation. I could just think that, okay, this is how they're choosing to end things. And then I'm thinking that that's it.
Why does my niece Attila send me this stuff? Goodness. Tonight's topic, man. I'm flabbergasted. I'm flummoxed. I'm dumbfounded. Real people out here like this. And you could hear it in the tone, the delivery. Like, she's speaking as if nothing is wrong. Andy is in here watching it. He's watching like, whoa. Like, what is that? And you guys have to remember, I don't listen to the clips until you hear them. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's coming on first, right? The unawareness piece is really crazy. Just the way, she's just talking as, this glib, devil may care kind of attitude. That leads us to the topic that Attila submitted today. The grace to doormat pipeline. Oh my God. Giving grace can lead you to becoming a doormat in some situations. The grace to doormat pipeline is giving sympathy to anybody, people with insecure attachment styles, narcissists, whatever. Is it dangerous? Is it like playing with addictive fire? Can limited grace and unconditional love coexist? When do you stop giving grace? That is a powerful question. So many people, TC, so many people don't know when to say when. And if you could, here's a question. If you continue to give grace to people like the one we just played, that clip, right? And I know Albert just put 7 times 77 in the chat, which alludes to you forgive 7 times 77, which is over 400 times. And I get it. I get it. But Is giving grace and being forgiving and kind and caring and accommodating to a person like the one we just heard, is that really giving them permission to continue to behave in the way that she so eloquently described? What if grace, that sacred currency of love and redemption, has been hijacked, transfigured into the velvet leash by which the empath is walked to their crucifixion, their own crucifixion? 1-800-920-1580. In the covert narcissist theater, your grace is not a virtue, it is a drug. A neurochemical cocktail of oxytocin laced with delusion and spiritualized self-abandonment. To extend grace indiscriminately is not divine, it is disassociation sanctified. And yet, the world lauds such martyrdom as moral evolution. But what if that which you call unconditional love is not holy, but hostage? In a cosmos governed by frequency, as Dr. David R. Hawkins asserts in Power versus Force, one of his favorite books, I love that book, true love resonates at the consciousness level that he enumerated at 500. A harmonious field of integrity, clarity, and self-recognition. Yet, what masquerades as love in trauma-bonded dynamics often calibrates far lower. A parasitic loop of projected hope and spiritual masochism. The empath's grace becomes the narcissist's mirror, the perfect surface to reflect their illusion while absorbing none of their accountability. Sheesh. This is deep. I was having this conversation earlier. Love is not attachment, folks. Love is not being attached. You need to understand it. Humans have the need to bond. Yes, I understand. I understand. Oxytocin, dopamine, all these cocktails of hormones and chemicals. I get it. Bonding is natural for us. But transcendence is spiritual. And transcendence even transcends the neurochemical cocktail. Right? We don't know how to love as our true selves. We think we are loving, but what we're actually doing is deepening toxic bonds with one another. From a clinical standpoint, what is often labeled as grace, in truth, is a primitive fawn response, a survival mechanism lodged in the limbic system, trained through years of conditional love and covert invalidation. As Babette Rothschild reminds us, trauma is stored not just in memory, but within our bodies. You don't decide to forgive the abuser. Your nervous system obeys. Your nervous system is doing the forgiving. You were conditioned not to comfort, but to comply. Grace then becomes not an act of divinity, but a subconscious strategy to earn safety in unsafe relationships. Giving people a chance is not grace. Giving people a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance is not grace. Grace is connected to liberation. Liberation connected to individuation. Individuation is the act of merging the shadow with the mask, becoming a complete and whole person. Do you know what it means to be a complete and whole person? When they let you down, it doesn't break you down. See, when you're broken already and you're relying on them to lift you up. When they let you down, it breaks you down. Individuation is a type of liberation. True grace is, I'm never coming out of this high consciousness level to respond, to fight, to convince, to explain, to give clarity anymore. How many times have you given somebody grace in a conversation and you tried to explain again and again and again? You tried to give clarity. You tried to give nuanced perspectives. But you quickly realized, oh, these people, they just want to argue. They just want to disagree. Right? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Grace then becomes not an act of divinity, but a subconscious strategy to earn safety in unsafe relationships. Why would you want to do that? Clear, you're addicted to the toxicity of that relationship. The toxicity in that relationship represents familiarity, your norm. So even though it's toxic, you don't want to lose it. So you fawn grace. You perform grace. True grace is connected to spiritual evolution, and we're talking about the evolution of the consciousness. What we're calling grace, I mean, this is not spirituality. It is Stockholm Syndrome holding an infant. Alfred Korzybski, famous linguist, right? Creator of general semantics. Again, you guys hear me talk about this all the time. Created E prime. The language stripped of the is of identity demands precision. So let's rewrite the delusion. He is hurting becomes he appears to be wounded. I am showing grace becomes I perform compassion while my boundaries erode. This linguistic discipline reveals what general semantics warns us of, that language shapes perception, and perception can become a prison when divorced from discernment. We were taught grace is infinite. But what if infinity in this case is not a blessing, but a curse for the boundaryless? The covert narcissists, as Misra, Bihari, and Arabi meticulously map, thrives on the illusion of shared victimhood. We hurt each other. Ooh. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to get even deeper. When does the grace run out?
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I am 38 today. It's my birthday. And it took me most of the years that I have been on this earth to learn what I hope to convey to you in just a few short minutes today. And that truth is that great relationships are not found, they are built. There is a common idea about relationships that when you find the right person, you just know. And I think this is a pretty dangerous idea. Firstly, because it creates this unrealistic, sometimes impossible to achieve expectation of the level of certainty that you are supposed to experience when you encounter the right person. But that idea also ignores another truth, which is that most of us have had a time in our lives, or maybe multiple experiences, of feeling like we just knew about the complete wrong person. One of the difficult things about our culture today is that the perception of how many options there are and how easily and readily those options are presented to us, especially on social media and dating apps, has us thinking that there might be someone with a little bit more of what we need. There might be someone who's a bit more attractive. There might be someone who has a bit more of this or a bit less of that. And that might make them even more optimal to create that feeling of certainty in us. And I think that part of that lack of certainty we feel is about personal distrust. We don't trust our own decisions. We're worried we're going to make the wrong decision, especially on something as high stakes as who we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. And so in not trusting our own gut, our own intuition, our inner voice, whatever you want to call it.
Matthew was cooking again. Matthew Housey? I think Housey, something like that. The man is cooking. You use grace as another insecure manipulation to keep something you don't want to lose. And the reason why you don't want to lose it is because you haven't learned to give yourself grace, to cultivate grace for self. That's part of repression and suppression of the shadow. Do you see? I can't give to myself what I expect and low-key demand that my partner provides. Do you see? if there are no self-boundaries. Most of us are walking around, man, with an unchecked shadow. The shadow is unchecked, meaning it's in the background. You think because, oh, I've suppressed it, I ignore it, I don't pay attention, I don't acknowledge it, you think it's not operating. Every relationship you're in is equally yoked. Yep. 2 frequencies, 2 vibrations, 2 levels of consciousness yoke with each other. That's what it means. Christian will say spiritually yoked. Okay, fine. That's what it means. If you haven't done the self-work, you don't get to yoke with someone who has, because they're going to recognize, no. This ain't right. This is not how relationships go. You yoke at the level of your healing. That's where your yoke is. I know people don't want to hear it put that way. Just because you recite a scripture doesn't mean you understand it. Doesn't mean you understand the prophecy within it. You yoke at the consciousness level of the internal work you've completed. Do you understand? The covert narcissist, as Mizra, Behari, and Arabi meticulously map, thrives on the illusion of shared victimhood. Their contrition is currency. Their tears a transaction. Your sympathy is not received, it is actually consumed. And the more you give, the more they gorge on your capacity to self-erode. Grace here is not love. It is stock in their illusion. And like any other addict, they will sell your soul to feed the next high. Do you understand? Just because we're using the same words don't mean they hold the same meaning. There's a different context and perspective here. I'm telling you, you're calling your wounded actions giving grace. If you're wounded, you can't give grace. Uh-oh. Huh? Hey. Huh? If you're wounded, you can't really give kindness or care or empathy. Why? Because from a wounded, insecure space, unconsciously, you've been conditioned to do things, to extrapolate the things that you're supposed to provide yourself internally. Everything about your interaction is manipulation. And I don't blame you. I'm sorry for your heart. When I come forward, I'm going to go even deeper.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New Jersey Senator Cory Booker wants to ban ICE agents from hiding their identities during arrest.
It's called the Visible Act. And so our bill is trying to actually protect ICE agents, protect the public.
He and Senator Alex Padilla introduced a bill requiring agents to show their agency name and either badge number or name while banning masks. DHS says officers already ID themselves. Rapper Kanye West is facing new accusations of sexual battery and sex trafficking from his former assistant. She claims he raped her and coerced her with false promises about her career, then fired her in 2023 when she rejected him. And Washington, D.C. leaders are not worried about President Trump's latest threat to take over the city. He claimed crime would drop under his control, but Black Bear Muriel Bowser says he's made similar threats for 2 years and they've still worked together on city priorities. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Don't go it alone. Visit expresspros.com to find the location nearest you. That's expresspros.com.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's yours. Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this? It's yours. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
You see, your avoidant ex doesn't necessarily go silent because they don't care. They go silent because when they are overwhelmed, the silence gives them this illusion of safety and is essentially what they do when they literally cannot process. So if you've been finding yourself feeling confused, stuck, or having a hard time getting over somebody that is a dismissive avoidant attachment style, in today's video, we are going to talk about how their silence may often actually be a safety blanket. And you're not crazy for wondering about this. You deserve to have some actual clarity about what's going on. And so in this video today, we are going to break down that clarity for you into 5 crucial points. You are going to learn the keys to how dismissive avoidance silence doesn't necessarily mean indifference. Okay, that's the first really important point that we're covering. We're going to talk about what it actually means instead. We're going to talk about how dismissive avoidance tend to compartmentalize pain. Number 2. Number 3, we're even going to talk about the breakup boomerang effect for dismissive avoidance. And number 4, signs dismissive avoidance might still secretly be attached. And at the end, which is probably going to shock you, we're going to talk about what their silence is really protecting them from and exactly what you need to do in the situation so that you are not in heartache, so that you have clarity and you know exactly what to do next. If you're new to this channel, my name is Thais Gibson. I'm an author, coach, counselor, and founder of the Personal Development School, and I've been doing this work for quite some time. I had a very busy client-based practice for a long time and then eventually created the Personal Development School. So I love teaching about this and love sharing these concepts with you. So the very first thing that I think is really important to recognize is that when a dismissive avoidant is taking space, when they are literally putting up walls, and when they are so stone cold silent after a breakup, I think it's so easy to conflate that with somebody simply not caring. But number 1 out of our 5 key things that I want you to know is that that silence doesn't actually mean indifference. That silence is something a dismissive avoidant does because they don't want to feel emotions. And so they don't want to feel any emotions that could make them feel uncomfortable, vulnerable, and what are going to be the main sources of who's going to make them feel emotional? You, right? And so when somebody's having a hard time processing something and they literally create like so much space, they're just stone cold quiet, they're stonewalling.
You know what's so amazing? We don't want to beat up on the insecure attachment styles. But I'm literally leaving the cigar lounge to come here to do the radio show. The bartender has her friend, right, in the bar, and she keeps coming into the chairman's lounge where I'm sitting, and she keeps coming in. Are you on the phone? Are you on the phone? I'm like, yes, I'm on the phone. I'm working. I'm busy. Okay. She keeps coming back and forth, back and forth. Don't you hate it when people are ready for you to be finished with your work before your work is done? Listen, you can't come back in 3 minutes as if I had 3 minutes worth of work to do, child. But she said, you are needed. She said, I volunteered you for something. I said, what? I need you to talk to my friend. My friend, you've seen her before. She's been in here. I need you to talk to her. First thing, I go sit down. I said, am I going to need a cigar? They both said, yes, yes, absolutely. And basically, you know I'm going to ask, what's your attachment style? The bartender has her, I think she has her BS in psychology. So she studied, she knows, they know what it is. Attachment styles are fancy and it's trendy, everybody's on it. So she basically, oh yes, I'm an avoidant. I said, which one? Fearful or dismissive? She was like, I'm dismissive. I was like, huh. And basically, I listened to her make excuses for the mess she created. Right? And I talked to her for about 35, 40 minutes. I told her she should go to therapy. I gave her some books, book titles to check on. And everything that Thais was explaining in that clip, the young lady exemplified. And the reason why these topics are so important, right? We really had no idea growing up what an attachment style was. We had no idea. That's one of the key foundational understandings you can have. What is my attachment style? How do you find out? Just go to therapy. Ask the therapist, right? Because it's going to give you insight into how you respond in relationships. You hear how Thais Gibson was explaining about feeling overwhelmed. Listen, the avoidant types feel overwhelmed when you get too clingy, too close. You want to pour empathy, or not empathy, but intimacy into them. Why? Because they had to learn how to self-soothe, and they're conditioned to do that. So when somebody comes close, they're used to going inside because they didn't get it. They had a parent that probably shut down the full emotional spectrum of their expression. This is good, but that's not good. Don't say this. Don't say. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's your dismissive type. They learn to be highly independent and resilient. And when somebody tries to step in, they feel like it's encroaching upon their independence. The fearful avoidant is a combination, fearful avoidant, i.e. disorganized, is a combination of the anxious preoccupied, those are the children that have a worthiness wound that might perform for their parents' attention, right? The fearful avoidant is a combination of both dismissive avoidant and anxious preoccupied. So in not knowing how people are showing up or how you're showing up, you have no idea of how to identify particular behaviors. Enter the grace to doormat pipeline, a death spiral of sacred language co-opted by shame. Forgiveness becomes performance art. Mercy becomes masochism. Love becomes labor. And boundaries, oh goodness, blasphemy. Thomas Campbell's My Big Toe proposes that love is the force that reduces entropy, but trauma-fueled grace increases psychic entropy. It fragments the experience. You begin to inhabit multiple selves. The self who knows the truth, the self who performs grace, and the self who quietly dies in between them. This is not healing. This is spiritual schizophrenia. To love unconditionally does not mean to tolerate infidelity, right? Or to tolerate infinitely. You can love someone and still leave. You can forgive someone and still report them to your nervous system as a threat. You can offer grace and still enforce consequences. Because without consequence, grace becomes complicity. This is the metaphysical schism no one dares to name. Unconditional love is not inherently benevolent. Sometimes it is the most sophisticated form of self-erasure. And when you offer it to a covert narcissist or someone with an insecure attachment style, you do not redeem them. You license them, damn it! You gave them license to act a fool, to hurt, to gaslight, to feed on you. Right? Radical proposition here. Grace must be earned, not extracted. And when weaponized, it must be revoked like a stolen passport. The grace to doormat pipeline is not paved with love. And I'm going to say it another. It's not paved with insecure attachment. Right? What do I mean by that? We think insecure attachment is love. Love is unconditional. Love is infinite. Love is the highest level of consciousness on the level of consciousness of God. When you're actually loving someone, you are seeing the divine in every dimension he ever created. You are seeing that in yourself and in your partner. That's love. Codependency is not love. These are addictions. Ross Rosenberg talks about SLDD, self-love deficient disorder, as a type of drug. He said you get addicted to being codependent. Do you see? So we got to stop calling things love that aren't love. Love is the highest form of freedom. And I'm not talking about liberty, which means freedom within the constraints of the law. No, I'm talking about freedom, which means unconditionally free. You haven't met a free person. Even if they own a home and a nice car and have a fat bank account, they are still a prisoner, a slave to their conditioning. And for some people, the conditioning that they had to adopt makes them chattel slaves to their own soul. Yikes. When we come forward, the voice of reason going to go to the phone lines.
Is it good to you? Good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Biggie. Biggie.
Did your narcissist play off of your sympathy? Oftentimes narcissists will be like, have a pity party, especially covert narcissists, like, woe is me, playing the victim. Most narcissists want to be able to play the victim so the attention is still on them, so that other people don't think, oh, he's faking it, he's doing this, whatever it might be. There's like, no, I'm the victim. All these people hurt me. All these people did things to me. That's how I was for a long period of time. I played the victim. I was like, these people left me. When in reality, they left because of how I was showing up. They left because how I was pushing them away. But I had to sell myself a story that said, I am the victim here. They left me. I'm loyal. I'm faithful. I'm this wonderful guy, blah, blah, blah. And all of it was a lie, but it was there to be able to tell myself, oh, I'm a good person, and it wasn't me. I am a victim. Be careful when you see someone who comes across as a victim over and over and over again, because the narcissist is in charge of his choices and his responsibility.
Listen, this is a relationship resource show. Nobody's ever told you to go out and look for the things that we highlight here. You really think y'all can go to a crab boil, go to the wharf, have the greatest dinner, right? Hang out a few times, you know. Go to a couple of movies. You really think doing things means y'all vibing and y'all coming together? Ain't nothing been revealed. You don't even know this person. Well, you know, it's been 3 months, 90 days, and all is good. What are we doing this weekend? Nothing's been revealed. This show is designed to have the discussions that reveal questions that you never thought to ask. That's what it's designed for. And yes, we're taught to give people grace, to consider them. But let me tell you something. Love is the greatest and most undefeated warrior in the universe. Remember, God killed his son out of love for you. Come on, sacrifice him. Love is gangsta in that way. You think love is sweet and nurturing? That's because you're under the spell of Disney and cartoons and all of these romance novels, and love comes in and saves the day. Sometimes love turns over tables. Sometimes love burns the damn house down. Oh yeah. Y'all didn't know love was a warrior. But it is. And so is grace. I am giving you give your child grace when you say, you've got to learn from this lesson. I can't save you this time. I need you to see where this process ends because it's based on every choice you make. You need to understand what those choices sum up to in your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes that's the greatest grace you can give a child. We think we're supposed to come in and save them from every little thing. Sometimes grace is allowing them to, oh, wow, I learned from that. Yeah, I'm standing here supervising you as you learn. Do you see? Come on, man. See, let me tell you something, huh? When God reprimands you, that's out of grace. Oh, yeah, they say, wait a minute, he sounds like an old school parent. I'm doing this because I love you. This is going to hurt you more than it hurt me. But let me tell you something on a spiritual level. Sometimes you got to go through the fire, through the crucible in order to be transformed. I can tell you all day, you know what that's called? That's insight based on my experience. But because you haven't experienced it yet, insight seems foreign. Sometimes experience is the best teacher. We want to give grace to everybody because we've been socialized to be some kind of polite. Sometimes the best thing you could do is tell yourself the truth. And then, whomever you're lying to, turn around and tell them the truth. Oof. I was talking to that young lady in the cigar lounge. I said, do they both know about each other? No. The grace to doormat pipeline is not paved with love. It is paved with unacknowledged terror of abandonment, of rejection, of meaninglessness. Huh? We stay not because we care, but because we hope that by enduring, we'll rewrite the script of childhood where love was conditional and withdrawals was annihilation. But the truth is this. You are not a rehab center for someone else's unwillingness to evolve. Grace without truth is sedation. Love without boundary is bondage. Compassion without discernment is just self-harm in a prettier form. So no, limited grace and unconditional love cannot always exist, because sometimes the most sacred act of grace is to walk away without a sermon, without an explanation, and without looking back. Not because you stopped loving, but because you finally started living. When I come forward, the voice of reason will go to the phone lines.
How are you gonna do it?
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New Jersey Senator Cory Booker wants to ban ICE agents from hiding their identities during arrest.
It's